Hey guys, Captain C.A. here for Flats Class YouTube, and today I'm not going to talk tackle, I'm going to talk about a strategy that works in spring here on the west coast of Florida. But before I get into today's lesson, I want to encourage all of you that haven't subscribed to Flats Class YouTube to subscribe. We need you, really, honestly. It's my job each and every time I do one of these to put you on the path to success. And I can't do that unless more of you are watching, because we're wanting to grow this channel in a huge way. All right, what am I talking about today? Today we're going to talk about a scenario that happens usually about every April. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing a jacket in Florida in April. Well, believe it or not, up here where I live, it's still chilly. It was 50 degrees this morning. We're in the third week of April. But that doesn't stop the migrations from happening. And the migration that we're going to talk about today is this southern stingray migration that takes place between basically, I'm going to say Cedar Key all the way down to Charlotte Harbor, where you get these southern stingrays that come into the shallows. And I don't mean the little ones, I mean the big ones, the ones that look like manhole covers. Along with those stingrays comes opportunity. That's right. You can catch trout off the back of those stingrays, believe it or not, in some areas. Plenty of Jack Crevalle. Cobia off the back of these stingrays, mangrove snapper off the back of these stingrays. I'm talking about fishing in like 2-3 feet of water. But what we like to do is catch redfish off the back of these stingrays. So I'm going to send you to the action, and I'll be right back to talk more about how you can take advantage of this situation. Go on, go watch it. Episode of Flats Class YouTube is brought to you by Aquatraction, your go-to solution for advanced marine flooring. Dolphin is just tearing it up there, trying to keep somebody out of those trees.
I think that's a red on him.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Oh shit, we're going over smallmouth.
I'm going to stop it, but I want to make sure we get this guy under control, because it's an awful big redfish. Really big redfish. I mean, when you stalk those big rays like that, and you know there's redfish on them, they almost always eat. There's no reason for him to be hooked up with the ray unless he's going to eat something. You played that one perfect.
It's killing me now because look at all the freaking mud everywhere.
That's okay. I have a whole bunch of spots in this zone that we're going in. I just like this one a lot because it just seems like it always pays off. He seems like he's more under control where I can get down. Rubber net.
Fish. And you know,
Good fish.
other
He's not even gonna fit in this net. This thing's gonna be like 33 inches long. I mean, right on the beer rack. Oh, get in there, good dog. That is a big thing. Doesn't even fit in the net. Back up here for a second and we'll get a pick. Front edge. That's where it's roiling the hardest. I'd go ahead and shoot. He's still in there somewhere. Yeah, there were redfish right there. Two redfish on that ray. Find the rays, find the reds. Oh, gonna get me underneath my. Better fish than I thought he was. Woo. Throwing water. It's a good looking fish. Something going on there. Woo. Off he goes. I failed to mention this in the intro. This was a 2-day trip with Joe Nelms from Jacksonville, Florida. Now, Joe, you've seen him here on Flats Class YouTube lots of times. He's an excellent angler and makes me look really good. But we were dealing with a lot of wind on this trip, which made it tough. We still caught great fish. Like, look at these two picks right here of some trout and some redfish that we caught along the mangroves. But for the most part, we were focused on catching these redfish and whatever else off the back of these stingrays because there was just so many of them on the flat. And we had hoped that we would, come upon a cobia to mix it up a little bit. And sometimes even snook will follow in behind these rays this time of year just because they create so many feeding opportunities. Now, just because the ray is moving on the flat and there are fish on them doesn't necessarily mean you're going to catch them every time. You do not. The opportunity is there, but you got to take advantage of it, and there's going to be misses. But here's a little whiteboard demonstration here, if you will, a little mock-up. And I'm not an artist, so I don't want to hear any critiques. But as you can see right here, I've got the current going this way. I've got the ray movement this way into the tide. That's typically what they do. These orange little squigglies depicts the mud behind the ray. Now, when you want to try to catch that redfish off the back of that ray, you're going to have to land your lure up in here in the cleaner water outside the mud. And then you're going to have to work it across that leading edge of mud. When I call it the roiling edge, the densest edge of mud. When you do that, that's where that redfish is expecting to see a bait become flushed out from underneath the ray, because that's what the rays are doing. The rays are moving there and they're sitting there trying to eat crabs and shrimp or whatever invertebrates that they can feast upon on a typical mud grass flat. But in the process, they flush pinfish, they flush seahorses, they flush all kinds of little tidbits of food. And it's just an excellent feeding opportunity, especially for a fish like a redfish, So this is your chance. But the key is, don't throw too far back in the thin mud. You need to fish the hot side of the mud, the side on the leading edge where you know the mud's falling away from that ray. The densest mud, you want to be right on that leading edge, and you'll catch that redfish most of the time. Now, go back to the action, and you'll see a little bit more good stuff, and bad stuff from Joe. Nice cast. He's going left a little bit. Don't know if I see reds on that ray. There's another ray or something. Maybe it's a redfish up there above him at like 11 o'clock. It's coming out to you. No, it's another ray. These stingrays, they are the key today. All these muds. Stingray muds. Looks like he's on the right side. Now he's right over him. Gonna get him. Oh, way too hard. There's another one on the other side of the hill. See him tailing there? There's another one. He's just sitting right there on the edge. Just throw past him good enough. Bring it back to him. He's right there. That rod's soft. You can't really work it real hard. Got it. There you go. There you go. When I saw his head come back, I was like, I know he ate it. No, he ate it. The bite is on now because the tide's turned, even though the wind's not letting it. Go under all the way. Here, I'm gonna back up. Hold on. We good? Without it. No net.
It's all tangled up.
It's all caught up. We put it down, we put it in the lure. So there's a lure on that rod all fouled up in it. So just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Get a quick pick with you, with him, and the jig. Got it. Beat up too. Whew. Let him swim out of your hands nice and slow. He's probably ready. I really enjoy it when I can take all of you with me to the water to show you how it actually works. That's the best part about Flats Class YouTube is I take advantage of my regular clientele who are typically very good anglers, and we're able to put some quality stuff out there for you guys to learn. Now you might ask, what lures or what flies would you use to target these redfish piggybacking on the stingrays? Well, they've got to move a little bit of water. So paddle tails in the 3 and 4 inch size work very well. The baby goat from Z-Man works really well. Actually, that's one of my favorites. We didn't throw it in this one. The jerk shrimps, as you saw, worked very well. It has 2 long tentacles, and the body, the thoracic cavity, if you will, of that particular bait moves water over it, makes a little bit of noise, so they feel it, because they really have to kind of feel it. Sometimes they don't see it, they just have to feel it. So if you're going to use a fly, use a bulkier fly that's going to move a little bit of water. The one nice thing about mudding stingrays and the piggybacking reds that are on top of them is they're pretty damn forgiving. I mean, of course, I'm in a Hell's Bay Eldora up here, which is just a super quiet skiff, and it doesn't have a big footprint in the water. But if you're in a kayak or anything like that, you're going to be able to get as close as we did and still catch those fish. So big advantage there, big advantage. Again, can't thank Joe Nelms enough, and I can't thank all of you any more than I always do for hanging in there and watching the entire video. Give us that thumbs up, and remember, don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends. I've been doing this for 30 years. I need to make some of you better than what you are. All right, until next week, I'm headed back to the water to shoot some more YouTube. Actually, probably going to go back there to my shooting range, because a buddy of mine just brought me a new high caliber target that's made out of some steel, so we can shoot a little bit larger calibers out here. So I'm probably going to work on that this afternoon, get that planted in the ground back there. All right, back to work.